So last week, I saw Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. And this movie is one of the most beautifully written and directed stories I've ever seen. I love it. It's incredibly complex, narratively and thematically, and I can't wait to break it all down. So welcome to Classic Explained, episode 24. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. So to break this movie down, we're going to use three themes. One, beauty of imperfection. We'll discuss the memory erasing technology, Joel's memory dreams, Joel and Clem's relationship, Clem's insecurities, and Clem's relationship with Patrick. Two, undying love, where we'll discuss Joel's escape from the machine, the movie's true chronological order, and the meaning of Joel and Clem's love. Three, necessity of pain, where we'll discuss Joel's emptiness, Mary's quotes, the title of the film, Mary and Howard's affair, and the ending of the movie. And if you like this video, please leave a thumbs up and a comment. It helps so much. And if you want to see more of these, please make sure to subscribe as well. Let's get started. Theme number one, beauty of imperfection. To start this video off, I need to briefly summarize the intro scene and the concept of this memory erasing technology. I think it's going to set a good foundation for the more emotional, thematic, and non-chronological elements of this movie, which, if you know my channel, is the true purpose for all of my videos, so just bear with me for now. So the film starts out with our most primary character, Joel. He is depressed because his life is torturously monotonous and nothing seems to go right for him at all. He is terribly lonely and desperate for a romantic relationship. Very soon in the story, Joel spontaneously decides to ditch work, and he soon meets a woman named Clementine on the train, who he noticed a little earlier on the beach. Clementine, who Joel calls Clem for short, is a very eccentric, peculiar, and outgoing individual. But their differences seem to make them click really well. And after spending a couple days together, the two of them really hit it off. But just as we, as the audience, get accustomed to things looking up for Joel, the film cuts to black, and Joel is heartbroken. We find out that Clem has completed this futuristic advanced technological procedure for her to completely forget about Joel. Joel can't bear the fact that she would do such a thing, and everything he does and sees and experiences reminds him of her. And it tortures him, so he decides to register for the procedure as well. The technology requires him to bring in every item that he has that reminds him of Clem, so that the physicians can target the memory, destroy the memory, and then destroy the item. This way Joel will have absolutely no recollection of Clem, and he can peacefully move on with his life. And we, as the audience, get to witness this procedure happening on Joel as the professionals, Stan and Patrick, operate on Joel overnight. And this is easily the most trippy and mind-bending aspect of the entire film. We get to experience Joel's memories in both first person and third person, while Joel also sometimes experiences his own memories in third person, looking at himself. And if Joel wants, he can interact with the people in the dream, even if he himself is in third person looking at himself. Every person he interacts with in this memory dream can speak with him based on his knowledge of them in the real world. The manifestation of the person in the dream is him extrapolating on his knowledge of the real person he has known in the real world. So Joel can have full-on conversations with everyone in his dreams and actually speak with them to sort out his own understanding of what's happening to him. And truly, he's talking to himself. Just think of any time you've had a dream and your closest friend was in it. You can speak with them, but that's not actually them. That's just your extrapolation of them. And you're speaking to yourself through your idea of them. It's really well executed visually in the movie. And when we get to Joel's memories of Clem, we now very clearly see why they broke up. It was awful, toxic in so many ways. Their relationship was this disastrous collision of mental illness. Joel's depression versus Clementine's bipolar disorder and addiction. Joel is so secretive and closed off, while Clem is so impulsive and volatile. There was such a clash in personal issues. But having said all this, the two of them have also had some of the most beautiful moments any couple could ever have. While Joel and Clem butt heads constantly, their imperfections and issues are such an enormous reason for why they always gravitate back to one another. The monotony and indifference of Joel's life is counterbalanced by the impulsiveness and the unpredictability of Clem's life, and vice versa. Their own imperfections fill in the void that each one feels when the other is gone. And if this technological program is going to erase the bad moments, it also has to erase the good ones. And this ultimately is where I think we are introduced to this idea of trying to correct the beauty of the imperfect, which in reality isn't possible. We shouldn't even try to do that. But in this movie, that's what this program and this procedure can actually do. And this theme of trying to erase the beauty of imperfection runs through many other subplots in the film. For example, Clementine throughout the film emphasizes how insecure she is about the way she looks and wishes she could fix it all. Am I ugly? When I was a kid, I thought I was. I'm 8. I have these dolls. My favorite doll is this ugly girl doll I call Clementine. And I keep yelling at her, you can't be ugly, be pretty. It's weird. Like if I could transform her, I would magically change too. Clementine hopelessly longs for this idea of optimal conventional beauty, when everything about her that's imperfect is what makes her attractive. If she fixed it all, she would no longer be special. She'd no longer be human. And I think one of the biggest demonstrations of this theme that often goes unnoticed is the role of Patrick. And here's what I mean. Patrick is a sleazy, creepy, manipulative guy who can't get a girl naturally. So after having conducted the memory erasing procedure on Clem, he comes up with a plan to win Clem over. He imitates Joel's qualities that he's learned from the machine to attract Clem after Clem has had him erase all her memories of Joel. Clem is not completely connecting with Patrick, even though he demonstrates everything she likes. The connection is artificial. It's inhuman. It isn't real. Patrick is proof that love needs to be imperfect. It won't sustain itself otherwise. And the final, most subtle example of this theme is our supporting couple, Carrie and Rob, Joel's friends. Carrie and Rob in every scene are disagreeing and feuding and fighting. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they don't love each other. They're likely a very deeply loving couple who are in fact never in any scene separate from one another. Theme number 2, undying love. While Joel is stuck inside this memory dream, he realizes, just like we discussed in theme number 1, that his relationship with Clem is too special and unique to let go of and forget. So Joel strategizes with Clem in his dream to escape the surveillance of Stan and Patrick while they electronically operate on him. Joel hides in his most significant memories that were never reported to the organization, his child memories, and he takes his current manifestation of Clem with him. If Stan and Patrick can't locate Joel and Clem within these unreported memories, they can't delete Joel's memories, and Joel has hope for remembering Clem when he wakes up. Unfortunately, Stan calls in the big guns, his boss Howard, and Howard uses his expertise to relocate Joel and continue to delete the rest of the memories of Clem. But in the final, most special and intimate memory of Joel, before everything is finally deleted, Clem says to Joel, "Meet me in Montauk." And in this moment, we realize that the beginning of the film is not actually the beginning of the story. The beginning of the film, where Joel actually decides to take a train to Montauk, is actually the morning after he has this memory deleting procedure done. The real first time they met was in Montauk, but at a much earlier time, with friends around. At the beginning of the film, Joel wakes up and feels empty, not because his life is only monotonous, but because the idea of Clem is no longer there. He thinks the car parked beside him ruined his car, but it was actually Clem when they were together. The reason why this scene at the beginning of the movie was put in the middle of the story was to put us in Joel's perspective, similarly to a movie like Memento or The Father. Just like Joel, we have no recollection of Clem because we just started the movie. This is also why at the end of the film's opening, Patrick appears at Joel's car door asking what's going on. Patrick was wondering why Joel and Clem got back together. They should both have forgotten about each other, and Patrick is expecting Clem to stay with him, not Joel. So ultimately, Joel's spontaneous decision to ditch work and take a train to Montauk was not impulsive. It was actually subconscious, or maybe even a feeling beyond the brain. Clem told Joel in his dream to meet her in Montauk, and then she was at Montauk as well in real life the next day, and they fell in love again. And this aspect to me is the most surreal and spiritual or supernatural aspect of the film. True love transcended memory removal, transcended a morning routine, and transcended a perfect boyfriend, Patrick. It raises the idea that there are feelings beyond brain chemistry and personal memory where love is created, developed, and kept. It could all be something more than just brain activity. And whatever that thing is, that is what connected Joel and Clem once again. Theme number 3, necessity of pain. Although this film speaks wonderfully about the beauty of imperfection and the resilience of love, I think the biggest topic of conversation that this movie raises is how necessary it is for us to feel pain. It's actually in the very title of the movie, which I'll speak about very soon. But to start, I want to talk about Joel's emptiness. When Joel wakes up, he's depressed. He feels like his life hasn't amounted to anything, has no excitement, and is just pointless. When he's with Clem at the beginning of the film, he says, "My life isn't that interesting. I go to work, I come home, I don't know what to say. You should read my journal. I mean, it's just blank." Joel's journal is literally blank because he sacrificed all of his written-in pages to the organization to help him delete those memories. But this also means, metaphorically, by giving up his experiences, good and bad, his life will be empty and meaningless, just like his journal. It raises the question, is it worth it to forget about losses, pain, and mistakes when you now have nothing to grow from? And this essentially is what the title is referring to. And the best character I can use to break the title down is Mary. In this movie, Mary shares 2 quotes with her coworkers. The first quote she shares is from philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche. "Blessed are the forgetful, for they get the better even of their blunders." And my personal translation of this in modern language would be, "The forgetful are very lucky. The lives of those who can't remember the past are pleasant, regardless of their greatest mistakes." And in short, it all means ignorance is bliss. If you can't remember what hurt you and no longer feel that pain, you'll live a painless life, which sounds pretty nice. But it's the second quote that Mary brings up that seems to challenge that first one. And here it is. "How happy is the blameless vessel's lot, the world forgetting by the world forgot. Eternal sunshine of the spotless mind, each prayer accepted and each wish resigned." And my personal modern translation of that Alexander Pope quote would be, "How fulfilled are the innocent and unhurt, never knowing about what the world has in store. An innocent and empty mind is eternally blissful, a life free of pain, but a life free of growth." This quote, as you can see, challenges the previous quote and is the central philosophy of this entire film. Eternal sunshine of the spotless mind literally means eternal painlessness of an empty mind. But is feeling empty worth not feeling pain? This is also why Howard is familiar with Mary's first quote from Nietzsche, but says he is not familiar with the second quote from Pope. The second quote and the title of the film go against the philosophy of Howard and his organization. Howard believes forgetting the pain will bring peace. And on top of this, we get another big twist in the film where we realize Mary and Howard were romantically together at an earlier point in time, likely a secret relationship and love affair. And after the two separated, Mary had her memories of Howard deleted so they could work together peacefully. However, as you can see in the film, Mary still has feelings for Howard, and it's more than just a fleeting work crush. She admires him. And when Mary is informed about this by Howard's wife, Mary is haunted by her own decision to delete such memories. She then quits her job and sends all of the tapes and mementos to every person that ever underwent the memory deletion procedure. Just a side note, I also think this is why this character's name is Mary. She's a symbol for undying love, having not lost her love for Howard after literally forgetting him, and having reconnected all of the patients with their previous partner after forgetting them. Mary, marriage, matrimony, it's all a synonym for undying love. But anyway, Mary's tapes eventually reach Clem and Joel. And when the two of them, having just fallen back in love for a second time, now hear about all of the awful things that have happened between them, they still, in the end, decide to pursue a relationship with one another. The film then concludes with the song, "Everybody's Gotta Learn Sometime." And what Mary has realized, and what Joel and Clem are realizing now, is we need to experience the highest of highs and the lowest of lows, and remember the pain to move forward. It's truly the only way to live. Alright, this is my analysis. Subscribe for weekly videos, and please send me recommendations. The Lobster is next, which I've never actually seen, and I'm really excited for. And please let me know your thoughts on Eternal Sunshine. I'd love to discuss. I hope to see you again, and thank you so much for watching. See you later.